So what I'm teaching you here is nothing new. We already completed the learning of the Persian alphabet. But here I would like to draw your attention to some particularities of Persian script or Arabic letters. And I would skip some parts of that because at the end of the session, you would have all the links to this presentation. And so it means the videos are integrated in this PowerPoint. I would not play them, all these links that you see here. So for writing instructions, you can click here and will be guided to a quite useful video how to write Persian in calligraphy and having a better handwriting. So to combine the letters, if you have a problem with the letter combinations, you can click here. So that's why I don't want to waste your time and going to these links, which are connected as a hyperlink to a video clips on YouTube or other social media. And in the last link is just gives you a very good instructional video how you would write the letters. And you see also the differences between how an Arab speaking or Arab writing person would write a letter and how a Persian one would do that. And that would help you a little bit to make also differences between the different fonts that you're using in Persian. And that's why I call this just, in general, I call it just introduction to diacritical signs and other symbols in modern Persian. We share those signs with Arabic script, with Arabic language, but we utilize them in another form. And that's why I'm focusing on particular signs. So now what we are going to learn is we are learning the specificity of the letter ʿeyn in Persian. And there is a video that you can look at that. That's the link here. And to write it, of course, that's not a problem because you already know how to write it. And then I'm talking about later on this PowerPoint on practicing the letter ṟeyn in word and simple phrases. It means how we would pronounce this letter in a word. And I'm teaching you also some specific signs, including hamzeh in Arabic, hamzeh, mad, which is the subscriptum or the tilde above the aleph, and its particularities. I'm teaching you also in which cases you would use an intensification of one single letter, a duplicity, which we in Persian we call it tašdīd, in Arabic call it shadda. I'm teaching you also this circle that you put above a Persian letter when this Persian letter is not vocalized with using a, e, or o. And I'm teaching you also the specificity of tanwīn is a nenation in Persian, where you would put these two small a vocalization above a letter and you pronounce it differently. And then finally, I would teach you also that there is a silent, so-called voiceless he at the end of a word, and where you would pronounce it, where you would not pronounce it, which is something often underrepresented in learning Persian. And just as I explained before recording this session, if there is a question, just let me know, because I don't want to just doing a monologue without being sure that every single topic that I'm discussing here is clear for you. So, and at the very end of the presentation is the very last page. I put two columns of phrases in Persian where I'm practicing this letters and these specificities, these diacriticals, these specific signs here. I mean, by that I mean these signs in phrases, these simple phrases. And requirement is not to understand what those phrases mean. The requirement is to recognize those signs in a phrase or in a word. Okay, so from whole 32 letters alphabet that we do have here, there are there is one single letter which is quite very specific in Persian, which we share. with Arabic, and that's the letter ʿeyn, or in Arabic ʿeyn. And I focus directly on that one because I see that after it will be then neglected in recognizing and differentiating this ዐyn from this letter. So Aleph, because for an Arabic speaker, as Abdullah could confirm, there are differences in pronunciation, but in Persian, we do not make a difference between that letter and this letter. So, and that has to be clarified. So that's when you start with this letter. Of course, you know that already. We learned it a couple of weeks ago. There is a first position or initial position of ዐyn. There's a middle position of ዐyn, or the second position. You have a final position, and you have an isolated position of the letter ዐyn. And what I did here, I wrote 3 words here: ዐynک, تعلیم, and sarī. The first one means glasses. The second one means learning or teaching, depending on the context. And sarī means fast or rapid. Now, you see that this letter ዐyn, they are positioned in each of these 3 words in a different place. In the word ዐynک is at the beginning, in the word ta'lim is in the middle, and in the word sarī is at the end. Now, you see that my pronunciation of these 3 words with integrated ዐyn is exactly as if I would have an aleph. I say ዐynک, ta'lim, and sarī. I don't say ዐynک or ta'lim or sarī'a. It means I do not pronounce this particular ዐyn as you would hear that in Middle Eastern Arabic, right? It's a glottal stop though, but I do not differentiate this ዐyn from aleph. In Persian, in pronunciation, they're identical. Now, what I did here is I wrote some words here. In fact, alphabetized in Roman alphabet. And I would suggest you to read that. And I would like to hear the letter ዐyn, because in all these words that you see here, the letter ዐyn comes at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. So let's start with the first one. And we do that like just Abdullah, Tatiana, Abdullah, and Devin. Go ahead.
Okay. So from left to right.
Yes.
Okay. Rad.
Perfect. Rad. That means thunder, right? In Persian, it's thunder or thunderstorm. Well, but the translation is really not important here. I want to hear the ዐyn. Next one.
جامعه.
Amazing, جامعه. Well, in Persian, that means society. In modern Arabic, of course, it means university. So it's understandable, right? Because the university is where the people are collecting, right? But in classical Arabic meant also society, but the concept of society did not exist in that time. It's a modern concept. So in Persian, it means society. Next one.
Aber.
Aber. Exactly. That's a pedestrian or a passenger who is walking. Aber. Next one.
Sad.
Sad. Exactly. Sad is a seizure or epilepsy. This is a sickness. And you see that the pronunciation of the ዐyn at the very end is almost unhearable. Sad. Next one.
عاشق.
Softer. A bit softer. The ዐyn.
عاشق.
Asha. As if really, you know what, Abdullah, as if you don't have the ዐyn at the beginning. Think about that. There is no ዐyn at the beginning.
Okay.
Just Asha. It means that one is really not pronounced. Asha. Next one. By the way, that means lover, or the person who is loving another person. Asha. Next one.
عشق.
Amazing. Ishq. Which means love in Persian. Next one. Well, in Arabic is a passionate love. In Persian is just love, right? Is that what we in Arabic would say mahabba? But in Persian, it's just a normal love, right? It doesn't need to be passionate, very sensual love. It's a normal love. Okay, next one.
No. Alim.
No, Alim, perfect, Alim. Alim is a wise man, a knowledgeable man. And the next one is the master or the infinitive of the first word.
علم.
Ilm, exactly, knowledge, wisdom. Next one.
Add.
No, the he is not silent. You can hear that. Is exactly that what I wanted to tell you. This he in the middle and at the beginning, it's never silent. At the end, is often silent with the precondition if the he is preceded by an a. For example, if you have a word like, let me just write it here. For example, if you have the word like khane. In this case, you see that the letter he here is preceded by the a, right? You have this a here, and so in this case, the he is silent. You don't say khane, you say khane. But this is just in this case. If there is no preceded vowel like that, like a, before the he will be clearly pronounced. Giving an example, for example, think about the word ma, that means moon in the sky. So that is ma. I don't say ma because ma means wind. So it means it's ma, and the he is clearly spoken. It's something that you have to always recognize. And of course, if it is at the beginning, you would pronounce it. Let me just write this word. It's a good example. Look at this word. This word means all, is in Persian hame. The first he is pronounced ha, and the second not, hame. So it means, in fact, the rule is that if the last letter is a he, is unpronounced with the precondition if there is a vowel before he, then you would not pronounce it. But in all other cases, the he will be pronounced. And I'm talking about just this here, right? I mean, this here, not this here. This here will be always pronounced, right? So, okay. So ahd, and ahd means the pact or the testament, right? For example, the word for Old Testament in Persian is ahd qadim, and the word for the New Testament is ahd jadid. The Old Testament, the New Testament. It's the same, like in Arabic, it's also ahd al-qadim, ahd al-jadid. Is the Old Testament and the New Testament. Ahd is the pact that the person does with somebody else, or a promise. So as you see that the ʿeyn is simply pronounced as like an ahd. Next one.
I think it's my turn. But
Yes.
I can't. Yeah.
Sure.
Alam.
Amazing. Alam. And this is something that we really have to get used to that once we do not have the vocalizations anymore. Look at that one and that one. They're absolutely in the script, they're identical. If I really drop that one and that one, nobody would not, not an Arab speaker, not even me would know. Am I talking about a knowledgeable person? I'm talking about the world. Because
Is that your music?
yeah, I don't know why it's turned off. It's turned off. Okay, sorry for that. The Georgian music went come up. So let me just share it again. Okay, so and well, and then yes, you are here. So and exactly, remember the word alim and alam, and it's something that we have to think about. That look at this word. and then this word. And you see the critical position and the role of this i'rab in Persian, these vocalizations, because without this vocalization, even me as a native speaker, even Abdullah as a native speaker, if you have it ripped from the context, if somebody would write just this word for you, you wouldn't know that. If is it a knowledgeable person, alim, or is it the world, alam? So that's why I did, of course, in the context, you would always understand. But what I want to tell you is that at the beginning, please pay attention to the vocalization. With the time, you would know that you are dealing with this or the other word. But at the beginning, you really need the vocalization. So just with Argos eyes, right, just pay attention to the vocalization because they make a difference in meaning. So it is exactly what I briefly explained before, that in Persian, the ʿeyn as a glottal letter will be really expressed and pronounced like aleph. You do not differentiate it. And so we just can recognize whether a word, when somebody would dictate it for you, whether he would write it with ʿeyn or with aleph. You wouldn't know that because we do not differentiate between the pronunciation of aleph and ʿeyn. And that's why, look at those words. For example, here, with the glottal stop here in between, well, it helps you sometimes to say, okay, the glottal stop, most probably I'm dealing with an ʿeyn or with an ዐyn. Abdullah.
Which word?
This word.
I can't see.
I cannot see that. Let me just stop sharing and sharing again. Okay. Okay, let me just okay. Do you see that now?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Can you read that?
اعتراض.
E'tiraz. Perfect. E'tiraz, which in Persian literally means yes, and protest. And protest against something. For example, the nationwide protest of Iranian women and Iranians in general for the last 400 days in Iran. We call that اعتراض سراسری, which means a global, nationwide protest. That's اعتراض. And you see that really, I don't say اعتراض, I just simply say اعتراض because the Dad we pronounce like a Z, the ዐyn we pronounce like an aleph, is just اعتراض. Next one. Devin, please.
Enam.
En'am, exactly. En'am in Persian means a bakshish or a tip, a money that you would give to a person who gives you a service. And it means also the goodness, right? Is also en'am in Persian. It's an Arabic word, by the way. So, and we don't say en'am, we say en'am. It's really important that you make this difference because once, particularly for Tatiana and David, once you would like and you would learn her in Arabic, which is a beautiful, magnificent language, then you have this this differentiated precognition that in Arabic is different than in Persian, right? For Abdullah is exactly what works reversely. He has to think about that differently. That is not an ዐyn anymore. It's an ዐyn, right? Good. Next one.
اعتماد.
Amazing. اعتماد. And اعتماد means trust in Persian. That means trust. If you trust somebody, that is e'timad. Next one.
تعبير.
Tabir. Perfect. Tabir is interpretation of something, a commentary on something in Persian is tabir. You can, of course, imagine that this ዐyn, and that is the second point that you have to take care of that. Not only that the ዐyn in Persian will be pronounced like an aleph, but also the notion that if you encounter ʿeyn in any word in Persian, that word is not of Indo-European background. It's not an Indo-Iranian word. It's not a Persian word. It's a loan word from Arabic. And that helps you also to enhance your Arabic vocabulary, because most of these words, in 80%, they kept their original meaning in Persian as they were in Arabic. So it means you can always tick it that if you have the word with the ḥeyn, this is definitely, unquestionably, is an Arabic word, right? Because Persian words do not have, or they do not inherit the letter ḥeyn. Okay. But there are also some other problems. You have this glottal stuff at the beginning and you would know, okay, that's an ḥeyn. But here, you wouldn't know that. That's also glottal stuff. But I put, of course, this transcription sign reversely to know that it's an aleph, but we pronounce it exactly like the words that you have up there. Go ahead, next one.
Tasir.
Exactly. Tasir. Well, it is not ta'thir, it's tasir. It's really an aleph. You see that the pronunciation of this one is exactly like the pronunciation of this one. We do not differentiate, and that's something that I would like you really to learn it. Often in the morphology of Persian and learning sound system, they just ignore that, but it really would cause misunderstanding along the path. So it would be important that you know that from the very beginning, that these two letters, they have different shapes, different meanings, but same sound. Next one.
Tašdīd.
Tašdīd means approval, confirmation of something in Persian. And don't forget, if there is a differentiated meaning in Arabic and Persian, it is always emphasizing on the Persian meaning, not on Arabic meaning. Sometimes there is a slight, it's not really huge difference, right? It's a slight difference, right? So, okay. Next one.
Rafat.
Rafat means the goodness, the softness, the compassion that a person has with another person is Rafat. Again, it's really not about. Go ahead. Any question?
I just have to leave. I'm so sorry. I can only go for 1 hour today.
Sure. Rafat. And that means the goodness and the compassion. Next one.
Ta'ammul.
Ta'ammul. There's a reflection that you do on something, right? If you hesitate and reflect about an issue, it's ta'ammul. Okay. So now there are some videos that I put here about the letter ḥeyn, and you're going to see that how you can read and learn the Persian alphabet with a song. There's an alphabet song. You're going to see that, and you also learn how calligraphically can work and play with the letter ḥeyn, because it's a beautiful letter in shape, and it gives you also the option what the versions of the ḥeyn you could use for different fonts. They're all internet links, and you see this lady, she's from Iran. Of course, you see that also from her hijab, that she's teaching them how you would learn the letter ḥeyn. It's for children, but I found it very amazing, and it's a nice video clip, and then it will guide you also to other video clips where you can learn also the alphabet, not only the alphabet, also Persian words and Persian numbers with song. So it shows you also how beautifully you could use this so-called nastaliq handwriting, how you would write, for example, the word ḥeynak, mu'allim, sari, and the person has a pen in the hand and shows you how you would write these letters. So, and you see then the difference between the Persian script and the Arabic script. We are using the Arabic letters, and we just change their shape a little bit when we're writing that in Persian. So these are the links that you can always look at that by yourself when you have time. And at the end, of course, of this presentation, as you see, this is small square. I would go to that one where you see all those particular letters to practice them. So, now, something that you have to know: Persian has 4 particular letters. We already had it, just to know. it is that exactly the threshold of difference between the Persian alphabet and the Arabic alphabet that the Persians I think at the beginning of the maybe 9th century or 8th century started to use those particular letters by adding a dash above the kaf, by adding 2 dots above the zayn, and by adding 2 dots maybe to jim, or maybe 3 dots to he, and by adding 2 dots to the be to create the sound ge, je, che, pe. These are the 4 letters that are specifically for Persian words. It means you would not find an Arabic word with ge, je, che, pe. It's exactly the opposite of ḥeyn. While every single word with integrated ḥeyn in Persian is Arabic, every Persian word, every word that is seen in Persian with those 4 letters is either of European background or Persian. So it means if I want to write, for example, a word like, let me give you, for example, examples. Imagine I would write the word, want to write the word, for example, gorg, which means wolf. I'm using that. Gorg. That means wolf. But I would use also the letter ge for those sounds from the European background who have the, for example, ge sound. For example, if somebody's name is Gustav, I write like that. So it is the, while, for example, in Arabic, you have to use a jim to create a sound gaf. We in Persian use just the letter ge, Gustav. So it means we do not use the letter ge merely for Persian words, but also for those sounds of loan words from European background, proper names, whatever it is. The same is with the letter J. For example, I can write the word jale, which is a female's name in Persian. Like that again. Jale. That's a female's name, J. But I can also use the word J, the letter J, if I want to write, for example, the word Jacques. Right? Jacques as a French name, or Georges as a French name. So it means it has a binary function. We can use it for Persian words, but also for loan words. The same is with the letter Che. I can use the letter Che if I want to write towards, for example, the word Chach, which means wheel of a bicycle or a car. But I can also use the word Che if I want to write the word Charles. So it means in this case, I would say script-wise, just script-wise, this Persian is a bit more advanced than Arabic because we have letters for that. We don't need to add specific sounds to create this sound. We do have this sound. We have just to use those letters. Or the last one, for example, the letter P. Think about that. I can use, for example, the word Parvane, which means butterfly, but it's also girl's name, Parvane. But I can also use that for writing a, let's say, masculine male name from European background. For example, the word Paul. Just to let you know, it means those particular 4 letters in Persian could be used for writing Persian words, but also for loan words of European background. So, and that's what I explained. So we do not find those letters, not the sound. I'm not talking about the sound, because if you go to the Middle East, you often hear the J. They write like a J, but you hear J. A Syrian guy, when he's talking about his, or a Syrian lady, when she's talking about her husband, she would say Jauzi or Jauzi. You would hear the J, but that's not a J, it's a J. And also a person from the North Africa would pronounce the jim like a G. For example, the word of the famous Egyptian novelist Najib Mahfuz, for him would be Nagib. So it means the sound does exist, the letter does not exist, right? Just to let you know. It's something that you have to know that about those Persian letters. So, and the Persian phonetic adaptations, you can always look at this link if you would like to get a little bit more linguistic information about that. If you are interested in linguistics, the history of the Persian writing, you can always click on this link. So, and let's go to the next one. And this is the letter Vav in Persian. So it is interesting to know that in Persian, barely any word will end with O. So you have maybe some few words that would end with a O. What do I mean by that is that that in Persian, often the words terminate either with a long vowel, and with long vowel I mean A, U, and E, or they end with a consonant like a B, P, T, C, whatever it is. But you barely find a Persian word that ends with A, or with A, or with O. The final letter, final sound, barely. Even the word khane that ends with, in fact, A at the end, it is really has a he, which is silent. What I want to tell you is that you could barely find a word with a final O or final A. What you find is final A, final U, final E, and of course, consonants. To make it more clear, let me give you an example. There are some exceptions. For example, the word cho in classical Persian means like, or the word to, which means you, and the word do, that means to. But these are really exceptions in Persian, where you have a word that ends with a short vowel O. And of course, some imperative forms. For example, you can use that for the verb to go. Raftan, you can say boro, means go. Or bodo means run. Or bosho, become or get. But these are really exceptions. What I mean by that is that even those short vowels O was chov, tov, and dov, and then became then later on cho, to, do. It means it is not really an O, it was an ov. So I tell you it's different than Arabic because in Arabic a word could end with a short vowel O or A or E. So another thing that you have to know is that of course this short vowel A in Persian is symbolized by this sign A, which in Arabic called fatha, in Persian we call it fatheh, or zebar in classical Persian, I mean pure Persian word zebar or fatheh, and it comes at the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, but never at the end of the word, and that's very, very, very important. For example, look at this word. You have double consonant at the beginning, at the end, mard, but it would never happen that you would have an A at the end. Even those Arabic words that ends with a vowel, when they come into the Persian, they become consonantic. It means they lose their vowel. For example, imagine this verb in Persian, right, that came into the into Persian as an Arabic loan word. Daraba in Persian became zarb. Let's write it for you here. In Persian became zarb. What happens to that? It means, in fact, the final vowel will be dropped, or if you use the word darab, just this, the second last vowel will be dropped. So it means from darab becomes zarb. And that's what I want to tell you. It means the final vowels, even if it in the original language was the case, in Persian will be dropped. And that's important when you are encountering this Arabic word, particularly for a person who's an Arabic speaking. He has to know that the final vowels become consonants. So Another thing is the final he. It's a very interesting history about that, and often will be underrepresented in learning Persian. And at the end of this session, you know the history of that thing he better than an ordinary Persian speaker, right? Who is not a linguist. In fact, we have this final he, right? That seems to be a kind of a ta marbuta in Arabic, because in Arabic there is a ta marbuta, and you write it like that, and you do not pronounce it, right? For example, you have the word dawla. You do not pronounce it. That means government. Of course, you would connect it with the next word. For example, you want to say, let's say, American government. You would say Dawlat al-Amrikiya. Or you want to say Islamic government. You would say Dawlat al-Islamiyya. You would pronounce it. If you create a genetical construction between that word and the next coming word, the lazen, you do pronounce it. But like that, you do not pronounce it. So it seems to be an Arabic phenomenon that you write a ta marbuta, but you do not pronounce it. But in fact, this is not that. It has another history. These words that end with an a, like the word parvane, like the word divane, and like the word khane, that means butterfly, a crazy person, and house, parvane, divane, khane. They were not parvane, divane, khane in Middle Persian. They were parvanak, devanak, and khanak. And this ag, in transition from the Middle Persian into the modern Persian, has been dropped, became khana, divana, parvana. And then they thought about that, well, the a sound at the end, you cannot just say that like that, leave it like that, just write the word like that. Khana, because it was, in fact, khanak. And don't forget, I'm talking about the Middle Persian script, which I demonstrated in a second. Well, they could not just drop the word khanag with the ge at the end and just write khana. It didn't work like that, because a word cannot end with a vowel. Now look at the history. It's the way we wrote it in Persian. These two signs which you cannot read in the Middle Persian is the ag. It's parvanag, devanag, and khanag. And then along the path, it has been dropped. And instead of this ag, they put an a with having an I on the Arabic script, because the Persian grammarians already in the early ages, they knew, well, the Arabs or the Arab speakers, the Arab writers, they have a ta marbuta that they write, but they do not pronounce it. Let's take it from the Arabs and take the dots from that. So it means, in fact, they took this, they changed it to this, and it became a ha. So it's not a ha. That's why it doesn't have the sound of ha. That is the reason. That's why. So ag became a, and the he is silent, because it was never a he. It's never this he. It's a te as a form, which doesn't have a dot, so we do not pronounce it. That's actually the history of those words that end with an a. In fact, because they could not just write a vowel at the end of the word. They had to add something, and with that, it was a quite genius thinking about that, to look at that. Okay, what do the Arab speakers or Arab writers or Arab scribes do when they have a ta marbuta and they do not pronounce it? Well, they do not pronounce it. Let's do that. They borrowed that from Arabic. They put it into the Persian at the end of the Persian words, and they drop the dots. So it creates the assumption that is a he, but this is not a he. Just to let you know, if you next time encounter those words. Any question? Okay, so let's go. Oh, I see that that Tatiana is not there. Okay, hope that she can join.
Yeah, she left 20 minutes ago. She said she can only attend for an hour.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much for letting me know. So then good, it's good that I just recruit that, because you can then look at that. And then we have this specific sign of tašdīd. Of course, it means intensification. In Arabic, Devin, it called shadda. In Persian, we call it tašdīd. Like lots of other words that we took from Arabic and we give another meaning to that. It literally means intensification. It is a duplication sign. We use it above the letter that is doubled. And just we drop the second one as a remnant, we're going to use then the sign tašdīd. So now we call it in grammar, we call it duplicity sign. Well, I don't know if it justifies that what the shadda or tašdīd does, but that's a good fair translation, because when you encounter those words in Persian of Arabic background, by the way, that's the next step to understand Arabic words within the Persian, because if you see a word in Persian with that intensification sign of tašdīd, it is definitely an Arabic word, because Persian words do not have a duplicity. We don't have it, simply. And look at that. Taqaddum, which means priority, qullab, which means a hook or hanger, and hassas, which means sensitive, sensible. See that? In fact, what we do here, we are pronouncing twice D, twice L, and twice S. But we write just one of them. It's quite a fair economization of the letters, right? In fact, because you don't write the letters twice. So that was this side, and then we have this mat. It's kind of a tilt, or in grammar we call it also, in linguistics we call it a macron. There's a long sign of an aleph that we put it at the beginning of a letter, aleph that is highlighted with a long sound, right? So it comes always at the beginning. It could just in some cases come in the middle, but you don't find it at the end. And if you find it, it doesn't have the tilde. So for example, you have it in the word Quran and in the word Ma'ab, which is the Quran and the place of refuge when you go back is Ma'ab. So, well, but it's really rarely the case that you would find the aleph with the tilde or with the mat in the middle of the word. So it could be a long vowel, but it doesn't need this tilde if it comes at the end or in the middle. So for example, of course, the word khane, the aleph is long here, but it doesn't have a tilde. That's what I meant. So, okay. Let's go to the word sokūn. What is it? Well, I call it the sign of vowellessness. If it really justifies it, means, in fact, in Arabic and in Persian, it means stagnation, because it does not move. It's sokūn. Sokūn is the movinglessness. If you stagnate somewhere, it's a stagnation, is sokūn. We do use this ornamental little pull-out circle above a letter which is not vocalized by one of these vowels, a, e, o. Well, do we need it? In fact, it's not. But for beginners, like our class, it helps you as a reader to write the word barf, to hear and read the word barf without putting an arbitrary vowel above the last letter or beneath the last letter. So we'd say barf, dard, taht. Because if there is no vowel here and there is no sign here, you might read barfe, or you might read darda, or you might read tahte. That sokūn sign would prevent you of misreading. So the question of whether you do need a sokūn above a letter which is not vocalized by a, or is something that you have to find out by yourself, whether it helps you for a better reading. In general, when you get a little bit more adapted with the Persian sound system and the Persian alphabet, it's obsolete, you don't need it. So, And then we have this hamzeh in Persian, right? This hamzeh, or in Arabic hamza, is in fact it's sort of like a short ḥeyn that could come at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the word. In Arabic, the aleph might have this sign, right? And you can put it above the aleph. For example, if you have a name or you have a short glottal stop at the beginning, you might have this aleph like that with a hamzah above. But in Persian, at least during the last couple of 100 years, we do not use this hamzah anymore at the beginning. Instead of that, we are using the short vowels. O, A, E. Devin, could you read these three words, please?
Okay. Omid, ashk,
Amazing.
esm.
Perfect. So Omid is hope, but it's also male's name. Ash is the tear, and Esm is the noun. And you see that we just use this. We drop those hamzah because they are specific to Arabic words. We just use the short vowels. But we do the same procedure also with the genuinely Arabic words, not only with the Persian words. Esm is an Arabic word. But it doesn't have this, because in Arabic you would have something like that, and then sin and mim. Well, in Persian we don't need it. We just put an a. And now let's see what do we do with those hamzeh when they come in the middle. In the middle, it could sit above a vav, or it could sit above a ye, and it creates a glottal stop. Abdullah, are you available?
Yes, I'm here, Professor.
Amazing. Would you read those words, please?
So this would be masul,
Perfect.
masul again,
And
then masala, masale,
Amazing. Masale. Perfect.
and masail.
Exactly. So mas'ul, that it has two different orthographies. Still, Persian grammarians are really current about that. What forms is better, right? I mean, it's the classical one, there's the modern one. The classical, I mean, it's the modern one, it's the classical one. And you don't have a consensus whether you have to write with double O, double vav, or with one vav, with a hamzeh. But the pronunciation, nobody really hesitates. It's an A. Mas'ul, mas'ale, and masail. Mas'ul means responsible, mas'ale means a problematic, a topic, an issue, and mas'al is the plural of the word mas'ale means problematics and issues. Most importantly, though, it is about what happens to this hamzeh if it comes at the very end of the word. And that's something very important. Look, in Arabic, this hamzeh has two functions in Arabic, not in Arabic language, in Arabic language. It is either a sign of a long aleph, or a sign of a femininity, or sign of a plural feminine. So you would use this ḥeyn at the end, hamzah at the end. Look at this word Zahra, which is name of the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad. Zahra, well, in Arabic, Zahra, which comes also, it means also luminous, it means also flower. We don't talk about the meaning now, and because it's a proper name. And then the word Anbiya, in Arabic, Anbiya, which means prophets. The plural of the word Nabi, also Arabic. And then Sahra, which is desert, and you know that from the word Sahra, right? And the word Khala, which means back. Now, those words are either feminine or plural. For example, Anbiya is plural. Zahra is feminine. Since in Persian we do not have this gender plus concept of feminine and masculine in the names, I mean, grammatically seen, I mean, we have genders, of course, but they don't have gender signs. So, well, we dropped it. They create Zahra, Anbiya, Sahra, and Khala. So it means we drop the final hamzeh from Arabic words. And with that, we soften it. We don't say Zahra, Anbiya, Sahra, Khala. We say Zahra, Anbiya, Sahra, Khala. This is also another thing that you have to know about if you encounter an Arabic word in Persian. So, any question? Okay. Then comes this quite problematic thing in Arabic script. This is called tanwīn. Tanwīn in Persian, tanwīn in Arabic, is a nunation. Why we call it nunation? Because it has a sound of a nun at the end, right? And in Arabic, it comes with three different significations. You have in and on. What do they do? In Arabic, they are either sign of an adverb, for example, like the word lutfan, halin, malun, or they are sign of the subject, object, a direct object and indirect object, and the sign of course, in being not definite, indefinite words. In Persian, we don't have those forms. We don't have sign for the becoming a direct object or an indirect object, so we don't need it. But the one that remains is the an. So we do not have that one with the n. We don't have that one with the on. So it means we don't have so-called fath, kasr, and zam, or dam, or rafa. We don't have it. What we do have, the only one that remained is this one. And it has always an adverbial meaning. It means the only remnant from that nunation or tanwīn in Persian is to use those Arabic words as adverbs. So, and if they have an adverbial meaning, it means they are free in the syntax of the phrase. You can put it whenever you want, because lutfan in Persian means please. It just means please. Well, it is not, it doesn't have any syntactic role in the phrase unless having an adverbial meaning. So it means from on, in, and the only one that remained is and. And now you're going to see that some of the examples of that. For example, you can see that in the word lutfan, which means please. David, next one. This one.
Quran.
Quran.
Oh, yeah, Quran.
Instantly, immediately, and the last one. Abdullah, please.
Jaddan.
Yes, really, seriously, is Jaddan. Right? So it means the only usage of tanwīn in Persian is to use it as an and. Now, the pronunciation, what's the problem with the pronunciation? In fact, you don't see a nun here. There is not a notion of a nun here, but there is a pronunciation of nun here. It means lutfan will be pronounced word by word like that. Lutfan. That is the pronunciation, not the way we write. There is no an here. There is not a nun here, right? But we have it just in the idea that you have this tanwīn and alif at the end of the word, and you pronounce it like an. So lutfan, fawran, jaddan. Well, the good thing about that, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, they are quite restricted in Persian because we have maybe 12 or 13 adjectives in Persian that they come with that. For example, this one. Go ahead, Deb.
What's the T? Okay. Catalan.
That's an.
Oh, qat'an.
And means definitely, 100%. Is that what it means in Persian? Qat'an. For example, if you want to say, I definitely can't say qat'an miyam. Or if something is definitely good, say qat'an khube or qat'an khubas. It's an Arabic word. So now, or look at this word, for example. We have also this one. Abdullah, please.
Abadan,
Abadan. What does it mean?
never.
Never. Exactly. So they kept their meaning from Arabic. Abadan. Never, ever is abadan. And you see that it has always an adverbial meaning. So, well, that's it actually. We learned all the specific signs that we do use them, borrowed from Arabic, and Arabic, of course, did not create it ex nihilo. The Arab grammarians, they were smart enough to look at the Greek and Latin, particularly Greek had all of this punctuation signs and all this diacritical forms. They took it from Greek. So, and it facilitated reading of Arabic. Otherwise, if you look at the Kufi script from 9th century, I mean, even me as a codicologist who is working with texts and did lots of hours in papyrology, I have problem to read the Kufi script. It's quite difficult because all the letters are combined. They don't have any dots are not there. All these diacritical signs of tanwīn and this a, o are not there. All these signs that we now learn to facilitate reading, they are not there. Now, but just to give you a very small exercise for our upcoming session, and with that we really complete all this spectrum of Persian letters. Well, we have still to deal with some exceptions that come up, but these are the most important ones. And so I give you then this one. And what happens here is I wrote about 32 phrases, right? Like 32 letters in Persian, 32 phrases. And the idea is that you would look at those letters that I often highlighted. Translation is not necessary for now, but to read them, to pronounce them, and of course, having the concept in mind that in Persian, we have this three pillar phrases: subject, object, and verb. So it means the first word in the phrase is most probably a subject, and the last word is a verb. And in the middle, often you have either an adjective, a descriptor. And now, with that, starting with the very first phrase, Abdullah, please.
Harf ʿeyn,
Harf
Wait.
ʿeyn.
ዐyn, because we don't pronounce it.
Exactly, harf ዐeyn.
Arabi ast.
Exactly, harf ዐeyn, Arabi ast. What could it mean, Abdullah?
So letter ዐyn is Arabic.
Amazing. So perfect. And you see that in translation, you put the is in the second position. Persian is always at the end. Subject, object, verb. Harf ዐeyn, Arabi ast. The letter ዐeyn is Arabic. And now I keep this structure of the subject, object, verb so far if it's possible in all simple phrases that come after. And you just keep it in mind that you are dealing with a typical Indo-European, Indo-Aryan phrase construction that starts with a subject and ends with a verb. And so if you don't know even the meaning, it really doesn't matter. For me, it's important that you could recognize the letters and also the construction. Devin, please.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
azar.
As.
Man.
No, as.
Oh, as.
This A belongs to the fe.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Man as Ma
مردمه.
yeah, mardome adi hastam.
Exactly. من از مردم عادی هستم. Well, without further ado, would you go proceed with the analysis of the phrase and then look if you can translate it?
So man is the subject, as a preposition, and
Perfect.
then hardi, mardome, I don't know, adi is the object,
Perfect.
and hastam is the verb.
Do
And
you need any vocab help?
I'm from the, I don't know what adi is, people.
Well, yes, Abdullah can translate for you, ID.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah, he translated partially. Can you translate it once again? Devin,
I'm from the adi. I don't know what that one is.
yeah,
People.
no, Mardum is exactly. Mardum is people, and what I wanted from Abdullah is the translation of the word Adi.
Adi is normal.
Ordinary or normal, exactly. So you can complete the phrase, please. Devin.
I'm from the ordinary people.
Perfect. I'm from ordinary people, and then here you have this so-called idafa construction or اضافه or genitive construction. من از مردم عادی هستم. I from ordinary people are. I'm from ordinary people. Okay, perfect. Next phrase.
مردم
Mhm.
لا مردمه
Perfect.
ایرانا.
No. The a belongs to the word, belongs to this caster from the previous one. Yeah.
مردم ایران اعتراض
Amazing.
wait کردن.
مردم ایران اعتراض کردن. Now imagine that کردن is an auxiliary verb. I think the rest you could translate. کردن is to do.
We have to object Iran.
No. مردم ایران is the people of Iran.
Oh, the people of Iran must object.
No, there is no must. They protested. Simply, the people of Iran did the protest because اعتراض means to protest, to object something. So مردم ایران, the people of Iran, the Iranian nation, اعتراض, protest, کردند, did. So people of Iran did the protest. So you put it together and say مردم ایران اعتراض کردند. People of Iran protested against somebody, against a regime or something. Right? So now what I would like to tell you is that we have a quite considerable number of the verbs that are compound verbs. For example, here, اعتراض کردن is actually a compound verb. اعتراض is the protest, and کردن is to do. What it means is that Persian lacks lots of simple verbs. So for example, we don't have a verb for to protest or to object or to show the disagreement, disagree. So what we do here is we take the loan word from Arabic اعتراض, which means to object or protest, and we use the verb کردن, which literally means to do. So now it comes together, becomes to do protest. And this is something that you often see in Persian, because a quite considerable number of the Persian verbs in the transition from the Middle Persian to the modern Persian, because of lack of their usage and due to the fact that that more than 300 years, a long time, administrative language after the Arab invasion in Persian became Arabic. They have been lost. They have been not used. Think about that. One generation migrates to another country, and after a while, the children of that generation is not capable to speak the mother tongue. So we can imagine that 300 years, the really undeniable supremacy of Arabic language through the vast territories of Iran caused that lots of Persian verbs have been just dropped from the vernacular usage of Persian. And there was also another element, the Islamization of the people in Iran promoted and created this incentive for Iranians to read and write in Persian, in Arabic. And so they became even more zealous than a Moroccan Muslim in North Africa, or an Algerian guy, or even an Egyptian. So that's why the Persians very zealously and very utteringly, they started to write and read in Arabic. And so they abandoned always and steadily, but gradually and steadily abandoned those Persian words. So that's why for very simple Persian verbs, like to speak, we don't have a Persian word for speak. We do have, right? But we don't use it anymore. So what we do use, we use the word harf, which means leather in Arabic, plus the verb zadan, which means to hit or to play. So harf zadan in Persian means to speak. So it doesn't mean that we don't have a simple word for speak or to talk, but we don't use it anymore. So it means a couple of hundred of Persian verbs. Good news for Abdullah, they are consisting of an auxiliary verb and an Arabic noun. That's it. Also the case with iteras kardan. So next one.
Baye.
Abaye.
Oh, abaye. An mard.
Perfect.
Mard. Shile.
Is a sin, siyah.
Oh, siyah. Ast.
Abaye on mard, siyah hast. So aba is the garment or the cover. Sometimes it means an apron, but here it really word by word means just the traditional jubba, or the traditional garments, or the traditional cloth. And siyah is black. Can you translate it?
So the person's garment is black?
Exactly. The garment of that man is black. Abaye, unmad, the garment of that man, siyah, black, ast is. So the garment of that man is black. Perfect.
Okay.
Any question?
No.
Okay. Number 5. Abdullah, if you please help.
Abiri piyade nist.
Exactly. Abir piyade sari nist. Nist is the negated verb of the ast. So it means if ast means is, nist means is not. And piyade is pedestrian. So you can translate it maybe.
The pedestrian did not cross fast.
Yeah, or is not fast. A pedestrian, a passenger, person walking is not fast.
Okay.
Exactly, perfect. So again, you have the subject of a piyade. Sometimes a subject, and that's something that you have to know if you haven't noticed it yet. It's not always like that a subject is just one word. A subject could be a cluster. For example, the previous phrase here, abaye on mard, is the whole 3 words here. Abaye on mard, the clothes of that man, is of course a cluster of subjects. And then the object is just one word. Sometimes the object could be more than one word and the subject is just one word. So it means abere piyade here is the subject, sari is the object, and nist is the word. Okay, next one.
Is there a vocalization for the rod?
Yeah, it's an A. It's a French word, by the way. Oh, you have yours in English. It's not a Persian word.
Regime.
Regime.
Oh, regime. Regime Iran. اسلامی
Mhm.
است.
Perfect. رژیم ایران اسلامی است. You think you could translate it?
The Iranian regime is Islamic.
Perfect. Perfect. And you see that the j, in fact, is a Persian letter used for the pronunciation of the word regime, which is a French word régime. So that's why you write it with the j, because it's about the pronunciation. Perfect. Next one.
سر نامی یک
Mhm.
بیماری است.
سر نام یک بیماری است. بیماری is sickness or disease. Abdullah, do you need any help for the vocab? Sar is that the word that you know. Nam and yek, maybe.
Yes, please.
So nam is the name, right? The really write the word name, and yek means a or one.
So
And sar is the seizure, just epilepsy that you know already. Just try it out. You couldn't be so. I mean, you can't be very wrong. I mean,
wait, بیماری is alone
no. Bimari means sickness or disease.
and yek is alone.
No, one means
One.
one or a is a indefinite particle.
He is sick.
But who is sick?
سر نامی.
No. Sar is in fact the sickness, the seizure, right? In Persian.
Sick and had a seizure.
Well, sickness is the name of a sickness. Is what it means. Sar نام یک بیماری است. So seizure is the name of a sickness. So but I mean the translation is really a secondary issue for me. For me, it's important because there are 32 phrases yet. So still we would do this. It's the second row for the next session, which will be our last session for this term. And with that, we are quite done with the alphabet and maybe working a little bit on the verb to be. But the most important thing is that you read more fluently. So go ahead. It's an O.
تو عامله
عامله.
ዐین.
No. The on social that belongs to yes. Sorry, but they're
okay.
too dense.
No.
So you don't
In.
need, that's in exactly.
Okay. این کار هستی.
تو عامل این کار هستی. So عامل این کار is the object. عامل means responsible.
Thank you for calling Education Directory. This call is recorded.
How would you translate this phrase, David?
So that entire object means responsible?
Well, responsible for this thing.
Oh, okay. You are responsible for this work?
For this work, exactly. So you're responsible for this job, for this work. تو عامل این کار هستی. Abdullah, عامل in Persian means responsible. Right? For example, we can simply say مدیر عامل means executive director. It means also employee sometimes, but mostly means responsible for something.
Okay.
Look at the next phrase.
ዐین.
No, not ein, in, just in.
این کار عملی نیست.
عملی نیست, exactly. So این کار عملی نیست. Could you analyze it? Where is the subject? Where is the object? Where is the verb, Abdullah?
The word is عملی.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but what position it has amali here? in the phrase because this phrase has three parts, Abdullah.
Okay, so the subject is nist.
No, nist is the verb. The verb comes always at the end. Right? At the end is always is a fixed position for normal statements in Persian, indicative phrases. The last part is the verb, is the fi'l. It means the last part everywhere. Here, 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 they're all verbs. They're all verbs.
Is the subject.
Mhm. And the in-car is the subject. This is the subject.
In-car subject. Amali is the object.
And that's the verb. Exactly. So now, could you translate what it means? In-car amali nist.
So amali is my work.
No, it's not amali, it's amali. Practical. It's an adjective.
So in-car is not practical, but what is in-car?
Car is the job or work, and is this. So when this job
That is not practical.
or this work or this issue is not practical. So it's not amal plus e at the end, it's amali. So practical as an adjective. Perfect.
Okay.
Look at the next one. Devin, please.
That's Raza.
Reza.
Reza. Okay. Reza
Mhm.
be Gaj Gaj
No, garçon. Garçon is a French word. Garçon. Which
Oh,
is busboy, right? Mhm.
yeah. Garçon. Enam
Mhm.
deed or dad.
Exactly. So, Reza be garçon el amrat. You have a subject, which is Reza, a proper name, masculine proper name, Reza. Be garçon, be is the preposition, garçon is the indirect object, and enam dadan is the verb, or we can separate also. Enam is the tip, and then dadan is to give.
Okay, so Reza gave a tip to the busboy.
Or waiter. Exactly. It's a French
Waiter.
word. Because mostly those young boys who are working in the service industry were boys, say in French, they were garçon, that means a young boy. In Persian, got the conversion of the meaning to not necessarily busboy, it is the waiter, even if it's the female one, but often will be applied to the male servants or male waiters. Exactly. Reza gave a tip to the waiter. Okay, let's look at the next phrase. That shouldn't be difficult for you, Abdullah, knowing that u is the pronoun for he or she, and that's a question phrase.
Is he or she, wait.
So u means he or she, that word. U.
Hadir is present.
Yes, or ready.
Is he or she present?
Or ready. Exactly. So is he, does it mean yani, does it mean that he's ready? Does it mean that he's present? Yani is the yani, right? It really has the same meaning like an Arabic. Yani means it means. It means. That's a question phrase. Does it mean that he or she is ready? Or does it mean that he or she is present and not absent? Perfect. So I think so far we're good to go. I would do one single further phrase here for Devin, and then the rest will be done for our upcoming session. And I'm going to send you then the PowerPoint. Please make sure that you would go over the links I sent you. Go ahead.
Alcohol
Perfect.
ba chords
Course.
zada
Zarar.
zarar, dorīd.
دارد. Exactly.
Yeah, dorad.
الکل با قرص ضرر دارد. Do you need any vocab help?
I know dorad is like to have.
To have, perfect. What could be alcohol?
Alcohol.
Alcohol, perfect. And now there are two words here, then one of them is definitely Abdullah could help you. With the second one, I'm not sure. With zarar, he can translate for you. But qurs is one of those misconceptualized words in Persian, because in Persian has another meaning. So Abdullah, can you help Devin for these two words, qurs and zarar?
Qurs means disc.
Not bad. This is exactly the misconceptualized word, because in Persian it means pills or medication. Because it's like a disc, it's a small. Because we know in Arabic we use habba, right? But in Persian we are using the word qurs because it's round, it's small, right? So no. What does
Zarar
this
is damaged.
damage exactly? So alcohol ba qurs zarar darad. What could it mean?
Alcohol with medicine
Is harmful.
is harmful. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your patience. So what we are going to do is just, I send this PowerPoint, work on that. Our next session is the last session. Make sure you really review all these signs, particularly for you, Devin, and also for Tatiana, and look at those funny links that I put there for the history of the Persian language, how to, the alphabet song and the like. Any question, I'll be there for you. And otherwise, you're going to see them on Wednesday for our final Persian session, and we're going to talk about the next term. Any question?
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Have a great time. See you then on Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.